Hello everyone. Just going to pull me up on a secondary device. Hopefully I can see comments this time. Okay. How's everyone doing today? I hope everyone is doing well. It is hot here in South Carolina, where I am from. So let's get started. My name is Jeanne Bassett. I am an animal communicator, a pet behavioral specialist, which basically means I use animal communication and energy healing techniques to correct behavioral problems and physical issues in our animal companions. I'm also a pet medium and a shamanic energy practitioner. So I do all sorts of stuff. But this is one of my passions, is animals and helping them to feel better, to heal their bodies, their minds, and their spirits. Because I do work on all three levels, the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual or mental level. And today we're going to talk about the chakras. This is on the spiritual or mental level. And for those of you that don't know, chakras are one of at least 9 different energy systems that all beings have, all sentient beings, all living beings have. And it provides energy to our system. It provides energy to our organs and our tissues and our glands. And when they come out of balance, it can cause physical issues, it can cause behavioral issues. And so I wanted to do this to help everyone understand the different animal chakras, which is a little bit different than human chakras. So if you're familiar with the human chakra system, a lot of this will make sense to you. But humans actually have 7 major chakras within their body. Animals actually have 9. And so I'm going to go into detail about all these different chakras. And hi, Heidi. Welcome. Thank you for joining me today. So let's see. Well, I'm seeing comments there, so I'm going to ditch my secondary device. And let's talk about chakras. Any questions about what a chakra is, first of all? Okay. Well, let's start with the root chakra. The root chakra is located at the base of the tail. It's between the base of the tail and the anus. And this chakra is the one that oh, awesome, Heidi. Awesome. Well, I'll probably be telling you a lot of information right now. But what the root chakra does is it provides energy to our kidneys. It provides energy to our lower spine and the back legs. Whenever it's out of balance, these animals will have insecurity, fear, they lack trust. Often when an animal is lost, their root chakra gets out of alignment because they're desperate to get their basic needs met. And when they're lost or stolen or neglected, then their needs aren't being met. And so their root chakra is going to be out of alignment. Sometimes when the root chakra is out of alignment, they can have orthopedic issues as well. But one of the big things about the root chakra is that animals are mirrors. And so if you have a lot of additional stress or you're going through a lot of changes in your life, it's going to affect their root chakra because they are your mirror. And so when you're feeling more stressed with the various changes in your life, they're feeling more stressed too. And when they're more stressed, they will often misbehave. And some of these behavioral issues that they exhibit, it's to get you to stop and look and listen and be in the present moment. Because they're trying to get your attention in the only way they know how. And so when they're feeling stressed, they may act up because you're stressed. I hope that made sense. And I'm just going to kind of go up, starting from the root chakra, and go up through all the different chakras as we get to them. So the next one is called the sexual progression chakra. This is similar to our sacral chakra. And where it is, it's about a couple of inches above the sexual organs. So, pardon my graphic here, my printer is about out of ink. And so it's printing in all sorts of fun colors. But the sexual progression chakra is right here. So please pardon my graphic, but this is, you know, I'm a little too cheap to get the yes. Animals are smart. Animals are smart. They you know, they understand a lot more than we give them credit for. And they come to us as our healers. And so they'll heal our emotional wounds, they'll heal some of our trauma, and they will also get us to be more present in our lives. Yeah, well, my dog part got cut off. Such is life. Okay, and so with the sexual progression chakra, which is, like I said, is similar to the sacral chakra, it provides energy to the sex organs, the pelvis, the small and large intestines. And when it's out of balance, it's often due to hormone imbalances. It's, you know, irregular heat cycles, any breeding issues or any issues with spay or neutering, it can cause it to be out of balance. And it's also when you know, sometimes with excessive biting too, this will come up as an issue for an animal. Let's see. Just making sure I haven't forgotten something. Sometimes these animals will have low confidence. Okay, so the next one is the solar plexus chakra. Which is kind of in the middle of the belly. Kind of like right here. Kind of where ours is. And the solar plexus chakra, you know, is in the upper chest. It's a few inches below the front legs and paws, okay? And what it does is, that's the area of the stomach. So it provides energy to the stomach, the pancreas, the gallbladder, the spleen, the liver. So all those organs are being powered by or provided energy by the solar plexus chakra. And when this is out of alignment, animals can have stomach issues. They can have upset tummies. They can have acid reflux. They can have stomach ulcers, or other digestive problems. They can have diabetes. They can have depression, eating disorders. Sometimes even epilepsy shows up here. And because this is where our self-worth is housed in our solar plexus chakra, they can have self-esteem issues, self-confidence issues. They can have fears, sometimes excessive behaviors, and often nervousness. Okay, so moving right along. All right, there's one. This is one of the ones that is different in animals. It's actually on the back between the shoulder blades. And that's the brachial chakra. This is kind of a controversial chakra. Some people don't believe it is a major chakra in animals. But based on my experience and what they've told me, yes, it is a major chakra. And what this is, it kind of is a very powerful energy center, and it oversees all the other chakras. And it's related to transformation. And when it's out of balance, well, it is responsible for the human-animal bond. So if you have an animal that you don't feel like you're connecting with, it's often because, hello everyone, it's often because there's a imbalance in the brachial chakra. Once that is balanced, then the pet parent and the animal will connect again, or even for the first time. This happens a lot with animals that have been abused. They don't trust men, or they don't trust women because they were abused by a man, or the person is exuding the energy of somebody that had hurt them in the past. And so they don't want to bond with this person. But then once the brachial chakra and all the other energy systems are brought back into alignment, there's no issues again. Okay, so next one on the list is the heart chakra. It's located right there, right in the chest, right where the heart would be. And what it does is it provides energy to the chest area, the front legs and paws, the heart, the thymus, the lungs, the respiratory system. So if there's an imbalance there, they can have anger, aggression, arthritis, blood disorders, emotional issues, because the heart is the center of emotions. Let's see what else. Also, the inability to bond can also be in the heart chakra. This is often out of balance too with feral animals or feral cats, abused animals, rescue animals. Some of these animals have stress-related colic or asthma. And often these animals are very codependent, you know, like the Velcro dog. And also if they are grieving, you know, one of their guardians or another animal companion, this one can be out of balance because grief and sadness will also cause this to be out of alignment. And back to the solar plexus, one thing I wanted to mention is that if you have a small animal, and sometimes it's out of alignment because they don't want to be picked up. And because this is, the solar plexus is our will, often they will start kind of squirming and stuff like that because they don't feel like they've got a say when you're always picking them up, and they don't necessarily want to be picked up all the time. So just something to be aware of. Okay, so next we're moving on to the throat chakra, which is right there, right in the throat area. Okay, and it's all about communication. It's all about creative expression. It is responsible for the mouth, the teeth, the gums, and even like the shoulders. But it's also responsible for the vocal cords, the neck, the thyroid, the parathyroid. When it's out of balance, you can have excessive vocalization or lack of vocalization, vocal problems, problems with your metabolism. If they're teething, it could be out of alignment. Thyroid issues also come up here. And sometimes lack of discernment, knowledge used unwisely. So if your animal, like you have a dog and it's barking too much or barking too little, then their throat chakra could be out of alignment. So they aren't necessarily using their voice. Also, it might be out of alignment if they've got a sore throat, if they're coughing, have throat or nose allergies, or any type of thyroid issues. Okay, so that brings me to one that's not necessarily on my chart here, because it is another controversial one, but I do believe it is a true major chakra in animals, is the sensing chakra. You know how animals can hear better than us, see better than us, smell better than us. It's because they have a sensing chakra and we don't. And where it is, it's kind of on the bridge of the nose, right in the middle, or actually the snout. So right in the middle of the snout is where the sensing chakra is. And it is responsible for all the senses. And it is related to how animals filter information through their brains. So the transmission of sensory information through their brains. But when it's out of balance, these animals will overreact or underreact to training cues, noises, people, the weather, training cues. It causes them to overreact. So often if they're having a behavioral issue, a lot of times that's overreacting. And so when you realign all the chakras, including the sensing chakra, all that behavior goes away. And, since it's the sensing chakra, if there's any issues with the eyes, the nose, or the ears, their hearing or whatever, it's going to cause the sensing chakra to be out of alignment. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the next one is the brow chakra, which is right there. It's similar to our third eye chakra. And it's responsible for like the eyes, the ears, the pineal gland, the nose, also responsible for the nervous system. It can be out of balance with blindness or deafness. And it's responsible for animal telepathy, and that's how they communicate with other animals and with some humans. And these animals, when it's out of balance, they can't focus. They, they're kind of mentally not all there. And autistic dogs will be out of balance in the brow chakra. And yes, dogs can be autistic. My stepmom had one. It was a black lab, and she had her routine. Did the same thing over and over again. So yes, dogs can be autistic as well. Okay, and the last one is the crown chakra. The crown chakra is in a little bit different position than what human chakra is, because we stand upright, animals are down here, and so it's more towards the back of the head is where the crown chakra is. This one doesn't show it very well. This shows how it's a little bit farther back on the crown. And this is their life force connection to Source, God, the universe, whatever, the infinite, whatever you are calling God or Source, that's their connection. You know, it's their divine wisdom, it's their understanding, their selfless service. And what it energizes the skull, the brain, the nervous system, the cerebral cortex, and the pituitary gland. Sometimes you might see seizures if this is out of balance, or headaches, or brain tumors, or hemorrhages, or stroke if the crown chakra is out of alignment. It's also a master healer. And so, you know, panic attacks sometimes come from here. Senility, separation anxiety, stress, tension, sometimes training issues. Because it's all having to do with the brain. And when this is out of balance, they can have oversensitivity to the environment or a total disconnect. So any questions? That's all I have for you today. Any questions? Hi, Michelle. Hi, Kimberly. Welcome. Michelle, hi. Good day, Michelle. Yvette, hi. So does anyone have any questions? And unfortunately, I'm not seeing comments on my primary device anymore. So if there's no comments or questions, I guess I'm going to call it a day. Just giving it a minute just in case. Okay, well, I guess that's it. Thank y'all for joining me today. You're so welcome, Heidi. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'll probably be doing more of these in the future and possibly even creating a class around it and how to heal these chakras. So, but this is how I start. So I hope this was helpful. You're so welcome, and have a great West Show day, and I'll be seeing you again soon. Bye, everyone.